Hey folks, Joyce here, certified health and nutrition coach. Thanks so much for stopping by. Happy Filipino American History and Hispanic Heritage Month. I wanted to combine the two of these celebrations together with an introduction or reintroduction to Champorado. Champorado is a warm breakfast meal served in the Philippines. That's where I was born. I moved here when I was 8 years old, and this dish actually has Mexican roots. And this is actually mentioned in this book called Tikim. And Tikim means taste in Tagalog, and that's the national language of the Philippines. And this is a collection of essays about Philippine food and culture by Doreen G. Fernandez. What you're gonna need is a chopping board, a sharp knife, a strainer, a small spatula, a small whisk, and a small pot with a tight-fitting lid. Being that Filipino Americans are 2.5 times more and Hispanic Americans over 50% more likely to get type 2 diabetes, I decided to create a diabetes-friendly version of Champorado while still making it taste good. So this is high in protein, high in fiber, and lower in sugar. If you're curious about those stats, I put the links to the CDC pages in the description below. Here are the key ingredients to our protein-packed Champorado recipe. We have a serving of chocolate protein powder. You can use any brand of your choice. Chocolate chips, about a quarter cup, semi-sweet, 60% dark. A cinnamon stick, if you don't have one, half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon is fine. Piloncillo, which is a Mexican sugar. This is essential, and this is very similar to something in the Philippines called panusa. And shout out to my parents for educating me on that. And we need 2 teaspoons of it. I'll show you guys how to prep that in a minute. And then we have buckwheat, which is a whole grain, highly nutritious, high fiber, high protein, loads of nutrients in there. And buckwheat actually originates from China. So that's a neighboring country to the Philippines, which makes it a great swap for glutinous white rice. For our liquid ingredients, we have a cup of milk. This has 10 grams of protein in it, half a cup of water, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and I have a little bit of extra milk on the side so we can drizzle it on top instead of using condensed milk, which really lowers down the amount of added sugar in this dish. Just as an FYI, people have different preferences on how they like the Champorado. Some like it thicker like oatmeal, and some like it thinner like Atole, like almost like a drink, or somewhere in between. So feel free to adjust the consistency of your Champorado with more liquid. To prep the piloncillo, go ahead and stand it up on its widest base. Take your palm and place it on top of the cone to stabilize it. With your other hand, hold your knife firmly alongside the piloncillo and slowly apply pressure down, nice and steady. Go ahead and keep shaving until you get your desired amount of piloncillo. FYI, piloncillo and panusa are unrefined sugars in comparison to white sugar, making them healthier options. If you like what you're seeing so far, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and the little bell next to it to stay updated on future videos as soon as they come out. Also, connect with me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Kala Health and Wellness. And if you're curious about a free 20-minute consult, email me at jm@kalahealthandwellness.com. First, let's rinse off the buckwheat. All right, let's go ahead and add our liquid ingredients to the pot. The milk, not the extra one for later. We have our water, vanilla extract, and our piloncillo. Let's stir that up with a whisk. Once that's nice and incorporated, let's add our buckwheat using our small spatula to get it out of the strainer. Okay, and let's mix that up well. And let's add our cinnamon stick. Now we can turn the heat on to high to get it to boil. Now that the mixture has come to a boil, lower down the heat to low, and let's stir it up a little bit and cover it for about 15 minutes. Just a quick tip, make sure your heat is the lowest setting possible. Okay, we're about the 15th minute. Ooh, okay, this is the time to add our protein powder. as well as our chocolate chips to get this all nice and chocolatey. The smell is amazing. Kindly keep the heat on low while we're doing this. So continue to stir your mixture with the protein powder and the chocolate chips until it's fully dissolved, okay? And the reason why we added it close to the end of this process is so that we don't overcook the protein powder and that we avoid the chocolate from seizing. Now that it's nice and incorporated, this is a good time for y'all to decide whether or not you want to thin this out with a little bit more milk, but I'll leave that up to y'all. This protein-packed champorado is 377 calories per serving, 20 grams of protein, 6.5 grams of fiber, and in comparison with traditional recipes, it has 4.8 grams of sugar and 6.3 grams of saturated fat, and that's considerably less, and all this still makes a balanced meal. And here we go, we're just gonna add a little bit of milk to drizzle on top, saving on the added sugar from the condensed milk, and we just stir it up. All right, y'all, I finally get to try this chocolate goodness in a cup. Wow, this actually reminds me of home. And wow, this is special. It is a little bit fibrous. It's not as soft as the glutinous rice, but for the nutrition, I'll take it. And this is just the right amount of champorado. I don't think you want more than this, so this is 3/4 of a cup. That wraps up our protein-packed champorado recipe. I hope y'all are inspired to try this chocolatey, comforting, filling, nutritious breakfast meal in the morning. Maraming salamat, or thank you very much in Tagalog, to my parents for being advisors on this video. They taught me about the ingredients, the textures, the combinations to have with champorado, so I'm excited to try that. And for y'all, I hope you learned that there is so many similarities between Filipino and Mexican food. If you have any questions or feedback, I'd love to hear from you. Please put them in the comments below. Also, next week, we're going to continue on this series of Filipino American History Month, but next week, we're gonna still fuse that with Hispanic Heritage Month, okay? So it's gonna be a dish that is from the Philippines, but has Mexican roots as well. All right, so thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share, or hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you have, thank y'all so much. See y'all next week. And until then, remember, you deserve to be happy and healthy.